K-pop Demon Hunters 2 is quietly preparing to shift the spotlight. Creators have revealed that Zoey is stepping into the center of the story, and the movie has been warning us all along. From hidden clues buried in the first film to secret connections we never knew existed, today, we're breaking down what those clues really mean, starting with Zoey becoming the new leader of Huntrix. Let's be honest, the first movie was all about Rumi, spotlight, power notes, main character lighting. But what if that was the misdirection? What if the creators were pulling a classic "look over here" while hiding the real leader of Huntrix in plain sight? Because once you actually pay attention, it's kind of obvious. Rumi's an incredible lead singer, but Zoey is a triple threat. She sings, she raps, she writes the lyrics. The girl isn't just talented, she's doing side quests while everyone else is still loading the tutorial. She's basically Jennie from Blackpink, mixed with Nicki Minaj, mixed with Taylor Swift, wrapped in an innocent-looking smile that says, "I brought snacks," but secretly means, "I own this group." Cute? Yes. Harmless? Absolutely not. Zoey may look sweet, but she dominates on every level, and does it quietly, which is always the dangerous kind. Which brings us to the fact that she uses the most powerful weapon of all. Sure, Rumi has her sword. Mira has her Gokto, that long, dramatic moonblade that screams final boss energy. But Zoey? Zoey carries the kind of weapon you don't notice until it's already too late. Her blades are called shinal, which literally translates to God's knife. Casual. These aren't just weapons. They're traditional Korean shamanistic ritual knives, infused with ancestral power and spiritual energy. Translation. These things come with a family history and a warning label. And here's what really sets Zoey apart. While Rumi and Mira keep their enemies at a safe, emotionally responsible distance, Zoey fights up close and personal. No space, no mercy. And when the moment calls for it, she can throw those blades with terrifying accuracy. Which takes us straight into the next thing we know. The Huntrix is going to fall so another can rise. The creative team has been quietly hinting at possible story arcs for the sequel, and when you line them all up, they point toward one unavoidable conclusion. The rise of a new leader doesn't happen without sacrifice. Director Maggie Kang has openly admitted she's obsessed with Korean tragedies, stories that don't end neatly, where the hero doesn't always survive. In fact, she said outright that Korean audiences often prefer tragic endings, especially ones that hurt just enough to feel earned. We've already seen this philosophy in action. Jinu's sacrifice wasn't just an emotional gut punch, it was textbook Korean storytelling. A beloved character gives their life not because they're weak, but because they're necessary. Kang has spoken at length about the inevitability of death in these narratives, and how sacrifice isn't the end of a story, it's the ignition point for the next one. That's why Gu's death feels less like a conclusion and more like a warning. And according to Kang's own comments, the sequel is set to mirror that moment. This time, the impossible choice won't belong to Jinu. It'll belong to Rumi. Everything is lining up for her to face the same fate, to make the same kind of decision, and ultimately to sacrifice herself for something bigger than the team. But here's the thing. The war against evil doesn't stop just because a hero falls. Huntrix can't freeze in grief. The world doesn't pause. What the team needs next isn't another spotlight chaser or symbolic figurehead. It needs someone willing to fight danger up close, someone who doesn't need applause to lead. A queen who never asked for the crown, but is absolutely ready to wear it. Now this is the part that will blow your mind. Zoey's true identity. The creators have confirmed there are dozens of hidden hints throughout the film suggesting Zoey isn't who she appears to be, and one of the most important clues shows up right at the very beginning. The movie opens with the demon hunters saving a village, rescuing a mother and her young daughter from certain death. At first, it feels like a standard heroic opening, until you look closer. Later in the film, when we see Jinu's memories through flashbacks, his mother and sister look identical to that same woman and child from the opening scene. Same designs, same faces, same visual language. That isn't a coincidence, it's deliberate. It quietly tells us Jinu's family never actually died. But then the scene takes an even stranger turn. After the hunter saves Jinu's little sister, the mother steps forward. The hunter reaches out, their hands meet, And something extraordinary happens. The hunter transfers her spirit directly into the child. Her chest ignites with a blue glow, the unmistakable sign of demon hunting spiritual power. In that moment, the child isn't just saved, she's chosen. Now look at Jinu's little sister. Then look at present-day Zoey. Same face, same eyes, same presence. Zoey isn't just connected to her. She isn't just carrying on a legacy. She's both descendant and reincarnation. Zoey and Jinu are actually related, which means that Zoey also has a history of demons in her family. The filmmakers didn't just hide the clue, they put it right in front of us. Long before Zoey ever meets Jinu on screen, she's already wearing a hoodie emblazoned with Derpy, Jinu's demon tiger. And that should immediately raise a red flag. How would Zoey even know Derpy exists? He never appears to her. He only ever shows himself to Rumi. And more importantly, Derpy belongs to Jinu. At this point, the message stops being subtle. It's not an Easter egg, it's a statement. Zoey and Jinu are related, and that single revelation changes everything. Zoey's loyalty was never just to Rumi or to Huntrix. It runs deeper than that. It's tied to blood, to family, to Jinu, her ancestry, something that is taken seriously in Korean culture. Just like Rumi, Zoey has a reason not to blindly execute every demon she encounters, because for her, demons aren't just enemies. One of them is family. And that's exactly what makes her dangerous in the best way, and powerful in the only way that matters. True leadership isn't about choosing sides blindly. It's about understanding that the world isn't cleanly divided into heroes and villains. A real queen sees both sides and survives them. Which leads us to the next secret, the golden clue. In the song Golden, Zoey sings the line, "I live two lives, tried to play both sides."
I live two lives, try to play both sides.
Most viewers assume she's talking about growing up between the United States and Korea. Cultural identity, idol pressure, a safe explanation. But insiders suggest that both sides mean something far more literal, good and evil, human and demon. Because Zoey, just like Rumi, may have been secretly half demon all along. And if you've been subscribed to the channel for a while, you already know this pattern doesn't stop there. Zoey repeatedly mirrors the Saja boys, sharing identical poses and movements. One of the clearest examples happens during the plane jump, when Zoey makes that distinct half-heart pose with her hand pressed against her cheek. It's the exact same pose baby Saja makes multiple times in the movie. Same hand, same angle. And then there's the Idol Awards rehearsal. Rumi and Mira move in perfect sync, exactly as expected. But Zoey suddenly breaks formation, striking an open-armed clawed pose that feels completely out of place. Later, on stage, the Saja boys perform that exact same move. So when Zoey sings that she's tried to play both sides, she isn't confessing innocence lost. She's acknowledging truth. She's not as pure as she appears, and that's the point. A real leader isn't someone untouched by darkness. It's someone who's faced it, lived with it, and still chose to stand in the light. And if you're as excited as we are for the sequel dropping in 2027, don't worry. We've got plenty more K-pop Demon Hunters insider tea coming straight from a Netflix source. Click the video on screen now for the juiciest secrets we've uncovered so far, and hit the bell so you don't miss a single update.